Okay, for the channel, I'm often looking for new and interesting or older or rare, whatever it might be, items that I can highlight for the channel. And I thought I would talk about some of the rarities that are out there that deal with the HP minis and in particularly some of the accessories that are very hard to find. And if you do find them, stumble upon them at a good price, snatch them up. Or if you don't want them, let me know, and maybe I might snatch them and throw them in some video later. And so I want to kind of go through some, no particular order. I thought maybe I'd first hit the ones that are you can kind of find, but they're hard to find, and then get to the ones that I've just never seen for sale at all. So this first one, a couple viewers kind of clued me in on them. They were able to find them on possibly some German sites or other ones, but they are on the US one now. But without them helping, I wouldn't be able to find it, especially because they put it under this HP USB 3.0 mini desktop, blah, blah, blah. Basically what it is one of these I.O. modules. It essentially, you could open it up and you could put in a hard drive, and then it would connect via, it's actually I think only USB 2.0 port, but there'd be a little cable that would connect in your computer. It has these ancient PS2 mouse and keyboard ports, and also a serial. The thing that interested me, of course, was the fact of the hard drive, and just another way to add a hard drive to it. But for $40, if I really wanted an external, I could obviously use a normal, USB. But for the collector in me, this would be interesting. I could add it to or stack it with my DVD drive that I've mentioned in one of my other videos. Next one we have is this add-on board, this Radeon RX 560, and you can put it into a G4 35 watt, but then you're going to also need a beefier power supply to go with it. This one's 80, which isn't too bad, and then this is 160, which, twice the price. But as you notice, there just aren't that many listings. So they are hard to find. I ordered one once on Amazon. I couldn't get it to work, so I ended up returning it. If others have had better luck, I've seen some videos where people were set it up. Maybe I got a lemon at the time and just didn't work, or maybe there's some other issues. Let me know if you have one of these and you're able to get it. What's even rarer is to find a unit that already has it in it and being sold. I don't know if I've ever seen that. If I have, it's been maybe once. So if you ever run across a unit that already has it and it says it's working, go ahead and grab it. Assuming, of course, you want the price. The problem, though, of course, is that's more for the collector. For the more practical, all the testing I've seen done on this, it's not the greatest. If you really think you're going to get some, gaming out of it, might help with having, a dedicated GPU if you're doing video processing, perhaps. Next, we have the HP 260G1 that came with a Celeron processor. The reason that the Celeron processor is important is the fact that it was the only unit that would include an M.2 drive. All the other ones, the one that I have myself, which used some later Intel ones, it does not have a M.2 slot. And if you look on here at the actual CPU, it's right here. This is where you would put it. I believe it used a 2242. That kind of looks like what might fit there. But these are hard to find. These are motherboards, but finding an actual, and this is a G2. Here's a G1. But all the ones that I've seen where you can actually get them, they're all from the UK, or this one's from Germany. You're paying quite a bit for a unit that is pretty underpowered. And, again, it's for the collector who wants that special 260G one that has that M.2 port. Folks might not know, but the Elite Desk 800 G4 Mini came in a configuration that allowed for the i7 8700K, which is an overclocked CPU. And it was known as a 95 watt unit. It would use a 150 watt power supply, and in order to keep it cool, you had to use something like this, which is quite a beefy heatsink. I mean, it's kind of a combination of, it's covering the CPU, but it pretty much takes up most of the innards of the PC just to keep it cool in order to run this. Now, I've only seen a unit on eBay once, and I think they wanted around $300 for it. And it did have a K processor in there. You can supposedly buy the heatsink separate. That's probably even rarer. I happen to just find this picture. I believe I put this in my video on heatsinks. These next two items are Flex IOs that I know other people have asked about them and tried to find them. I think I may have seen listings that had them in anywhere from 120 to 250. That's even if you could buy them. The first one is this HP Thunderbolt 3.0 Port Flex IO. And this is supposed to be able to add a Thunderbolt 3.0 port to your unit. It says here that it's supposed to support the G4 and G5, both the 35 and 65 watt. Let me know if you ever find one of these. The second one is a fiber NIC card. So this would allow you to connect, I guess, a fiber network. And, it would probably be obviously very corporate. Most people don't have fiber at home. This one looks like it works with the it just calls out the G4. I can't imagine why it wouldn't work with the G5. You're only though getting this is only a 100 megabit port here versus 1 gig. But hey, it's kind of cool. It's another way to add some network card to your unit. Without having to do all the other gyrations to get there. But I've never seen it, really for sale. One of these last ones is this cool mini lockbox. I think it was mainly focused for the G2. That seems when a lot of these cool things came out. And it was set up so that you could fit the unit in there along with the power supply. And then that way, I guess you could kind of screw it up underneath a desk or something. And I recall when I first saw these going, oh, okay, that might be something I could put one of my units in or something. And I saw them for sale. And at the time, I think they were only like $20. And I should have picked them up because when I went on here to look for this model number, I only get one entry and it's almost $90. Let me see if it shows anything, if it has more pictures. Yeah, you get a little better sense of the size here. So this is set up so I guess you could have various wires coming in and out. Let me see if there's anything better. Yeah, and then this is a way where you could, screw it to the bottom. It's kind of a neat little novelty thing. It does look like it's compatible with, all these various units. I mean, it really is just a cage of metal to put the stuff in. And finally, we come to the one that I think is personally the coolest thing. Never seen it anywhere. Would be, amazing to get. Although I don't really have a rack to put it into, but still it's kind of cool. It's just HP Desktop Mini Rack Mount Tray Kit Module. So it looks basically like you could take 8 minis and put it together so it goes into a sliding shelf in a rack. And I've looked for this model or this model number everywhere and have never found it. Here is an actual installation guide from 2015. And it kind of walks you through where you put it onto the server shelf, you route the various cables through here. Looks like it's got some sort of cable ties. Slide it in there, clips into the screw hole on the Desktop Mini. And there you've got your 8 minis. Repeat steps 1 through 6 to install the remaining. I'm assuming then you could put 2 of these, looks like. So you can have 16 on the thing. If anyone ever finds it, send me a picture. I'm curious just to see it in action.